Yeah, because I'm on the computer. Yeah, because I'm using the phone for Instagram. Okay, 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 okay. All right, here we go. Let me do that right now. So, so just just copy and paste this link that you just sent. Oh, click it. All right. Uh, and now just share this. Yeah. Now just share this. All right, got it. Hope that was it. If not, what it is. Yeah, I can hear you. So once I get on this little Instagram, I'm gonna turn my computer volume down. I'm just gonna be listening to you through the IG through my cell phone. So I'm gonna do that right now. What's your IG handle? I just went on this live. Mm, There you go. All right. All right. I sent you the request. I don't gotta accept it. You sent it to me. Yeah, they tripping. No, I'm sending it to you. All right. There we go. Yeah, man. So thanks to everybody. I got to go CAM, and I think and there's some things going on in our community, and it's been. I can hear you. Man, it's about what's really going on. Well, it's we got to be specific. It's not all the so-called Jews. It's those that call themselves Zionists. There's white Jewish brothers of ours in the faith that we ain't got no problem with, that actually follow the teachings of the Torah, or the teachings of Moses, the prophet Moses, peace be upon him. So we're not talking about those. We're talking about those false imposter, that use the holy name of Judaism and Jewishness to shield their dirty practices. We talking about those owners of media and Hollywood and businesses and bankers or whatever that push. Of course, my thing went off. That push everything from pornography to um, black on black crime and gang banging and all the negative wild animal images that they've been promoting on against the black male in particular for I don't know how long. So we're not saying that all the so-called white Jewish people is the problem. We're talking about these specific ones that know how to use their money and influence, yes, to manipulate uh, the people's minds and influence us and pressure us because of their control of money and the monetary system. So I just want to put that out there. So yeah.
So you woke up today and you saw the news, right?
Yeah, I saw, my news feed. It was a couple of them, but it basically said that Viacom CBS terminates their relationship with Nick Cannon over his anti-Semitic, or him not apologizing for his anti-Semitic remarks or rants or something like that. And then I saw Nick Cannon's post, responding to that, clapping back at that BS. So I was like, this is what time it is, and I am committed in dedicating myself to put pressure. Now I ain't saying physical threat pressure, but pressure on my own black celebrity peers to stand with Nick Cannon right now. Stand with Nick Cannon. You can't be quiet. You can't be silent. Whatever your personal little issues, because we all got personal issues with each other, that has to be deaded right now, because we have to stand with the brother. And just like Santa Claus or whatever, I'm making a list and checking it twice, taking names who don't respond, who don't show up to this mandatory unity call. Yeah. Right. Right.
So, he's the one that's been giving you guys entertainment.
Yeah.
He kept everything funky and he kept everything G so far.
Yep.
So right now is the time to support. How can we support him?
We can support him the way that these wicked white folks support they little terrorists and they little murderers of our people. You know how they do a GoFundMe on one of their little killers that shoot up a church of black people. They take him to Burger King first, make sure he's comfortable, and then you know what I'm saying. Then they're gonna make sure his lawyer fees is took care of and all of that. They're gonna support him with GoFundMe with their finances. Fortunately, Nick Cannon don't need our money. We need a GoFundMe of celebrity support that's willing to let they nuts hang and get their deals broken also. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of, hey, brother Cam, it's a lot of house niggas, man. I don't see.
Oh, well, that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Because God made me a different type of pressure cooker. So I'm just putting the word out there. If they don't do that, then we know what to do. But this is giving them their opportunity. This is a mandatory call, G call, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a celebrity, a black celebrity, I don't care what just like me and Cuba, whatever. I had to squash that 20 years ago at Minister Farrakhan house. You know what I'm saying? So Cuba, I support Cuba also. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been on him about this. So we squashing all the little petty personal shit. This is war. This is real warfare, because if these people can shut your bread and butter off, they can shut your money off, that means your family's gonna starve. That's a declaration of war. I don't care if it ain't bloody, it's financial, it's intellectual. So it's a unity call. So that's what time it is. Any of these celebrities that claim that they represent our community or that got rich off of our dollars, and you're not stepping up to support Nick Cannon, to stand with Nick Cannon right now, you are enemy. To me personally, I'm speaking for Cam. I'm not gonna say who else I'm speaking for. I'm just speaking for Cam. You an enemy. So just get ready for the full pressure if you don't stand with Nick Cannon right now.
So they can say that he is anti-Semitic. I have my understandings on.
Well, according to the I think it's Webster Merriam, the oldest dictionary, you know, the one that's most prestigious and that they go off of, and the first definition of Semitic is Afro-Asiatic languages, which includes Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic, and something. So the definition of Semitic is Afro-Asiatic languages. So languages don't create themselves. That means if they're Afro-Asiatic languages, that means Afro-Asiatic people are the ones who created those Afro. That's just a slick way, because these same Zionists control the literature. They control the definitions, and they see you catching up to their wickedness, then they change the definitions. And they say, okay, the 14th century original definition was this, but then later on, you know, popular, whatever, and changed now the definition is something different. This is how they've been beating us for centuries, because they control the narrative, they control the literature. Right, right, right. Right.
Years ago, right?
Well, Judaism is the religion, is the faith.
Right. Yes.
But Hebrew, yeah, I'm saying, but Hebrew or Jew is what you know, the real, you know, is what you're talking about. Right, right.
Which are Europeans. They're not Semites.
Right.
If he does not lie about this and they take his money, is that correct?
That's correct. The sad part is it's always us, you know, conscious brothers and sisters, black and brown brothers and sisters, that's having this discussion. No so-called white Zionist Jew will sit down with one of us. Now, if anybody would ever talk about you, but they won't sit down and talk with you, that's clear indication and evidence that they are the Satan. They are the enemy. They are the evil one. They are the devil there. Because if it's something this critical and supposed to be this evil that Nick Cannon or anybody else does, but these accusers never will sit down publicly. They'll make these public accusations and publicly blackball or whiteball you and castigate you and call you all kind of Hitler and all of that. But they won't sit down and have a conversation and let these same fans of ours or fans of Nick Cannon and people that's under their influence see a public conversation be had. They are the Satans. They are the Satans. Off top, just strictly because of that. Have a conversation. Just have a conversation. That's why I also was pressing, you know, for Deshaun Jackson, because they already attacked you. They already now is assassinating your character and ruining your career and trying to dig up any other dirt in your history or whatever. So you may as well now use your platform, whether it's Deshaun Jackson, Steven Jackson, Ice Cube, Nick Cannon, Kevin Hart, anybody that they ever said that to, you may as well use your platform to call them out. You know what? I don't know a lot. I'm speaking for them, quote unquote, you know, like I'm one of them. I don't know a lot about this whole Jewish black problem, but I know somebody that does. You don't agree with them, just like you don't agree with me, and I don't agree with you. Let's use these same airwaves and our same millions of fan influence to call for a public discussion, dialogue, showdown, whatever you want, with Minister Farrakhan, because that's who he represents us, and it seems like him and his scholars have done the most research in this area. And you bring all of your wise rabbis and historians and Jewish scholars and let all of us finally see y'all proof and y'all evidence, and we'll bring our proof. And if you prove that we wrong, we'll apologize, shut the hell up, atone, and do everything else we're supposed to do. But if you're the one that's proven to be the liar and the Satan, what are you supposed to do? Right.
To buck up against the system and to say, you know what, let's have this conversation publicly. Because if, like Brother Cam said, if you're not willing to have this conversation publicly,
right, right. And why do you think that you can destroy, you know, black people's names and careers, you know, without even sitting down with them in court? Let your accuser face you. You know, face your accuser, like court of law, like both sides. You know, it's supposed to be a speedy trial. It's supposed to happen a long time ago, but y'all still never do it. That's proven that these Satans and devils are cowards, and they try to deputize they little black minions and flunkies and prostitutes to come out and speak for them. No, y'all little niggas sit down and shut up. You prostitutes for money. This is how they work. This is how they able to manipulate us so much, because of their control over money. I'm talking about these Zionists who are the international bankers. They the global monetary influence over our people. So Farrakhan ain't a prostitute. He don't rely on their money. He's been supported by the love and the soldier and the lives and the blood and the sweat and the tears of his own people. And that's what they terrified about, because we finna put that same unity and that same influence behind Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying? And Steven Jackson and Deshaun Jackson and whoever else, Cube, Ice Cube, that will stand up and not be punked because these people threaten to take your money away or threaten to take your check away. So that's where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? Pressure is pressure time. It's pressure time. So all of it. Go ahead. That's it. No, I'm done with that.
So Deshaun Jackson
Well, Hebrew is if we, because they're the whole state of Israel and all of that reparations and all of that, they're playing off of, like you said, the Old Testament, Genesis 15, God's promise to Abraham, know for a surety, Abraham, that your seed will be a stranger in a land that is not theirs and will be afflicted for 400 years in bondage, and that people, that nation whom they shall serve after that 400 years, God talking, I will judge that nation, and that people will come out. You gotta, yeah, there you go. That volume. After that time, you know, I'll judge that nation, and my people will come out with having great substance. So they whole argument is that them claiming that that's them, like their Holocaust, whatever, was fulfillment of that. But in reality, there's no history nowhere, nobody, especially in Egypt and nowhere else in the world, where no Caucasian or European so-called Jewish people has ever suffered 400 years in bondage to nowhere, right? The only one fulfill that is the black people of America, the descendants of slaves, right? So the fact that they've been getting reparations, the fact that they've been calling Israel their promised land, that's the promised land that God promised the Jewish people or the Jews or the Hebrews or whatever, because of their 400 years bondage in a strange land. Your Holocaust was in your own land. You was Germans. You was in Germany, and your own white brother did y'all that way for 3 years. Some say 4 years. Some say 14. You know, whatever. But it wasn't 400 years, right? You was not taken across the ocean like the Bible says and sold into bondage and stuck there for 400 years. That, you know, that's not what happened. So they can't, that's why they'll never come publicly and lay these facts on the table and let black people see that these people stole our birthright and taxed us after being in bondage for 400 years, taking our tax dollars. You ain't supposed to tax a slave and sending it to Israel, sending it to them to pay their reparations ever since 1948. That's what they don't want black people to know about. Right. The secret relationship between blacks and Jews is the Nation of Islam Research Department. We quoted their scholars. This wasn't the Nation of Islam's, you know, feelings or lies against them. Those two books, book 1 and 2, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, is we quoted their historians, their scholars, their rabbis, their business people, their record books. So if anything in that book or those two books is supposed to be anti-Semitic or evil or wrong, y'all did it. So y'all would have to denounce your rabbis, your heroes and your sheroes as liars and evil and the real Hitlers, because y'all people did way worse to us than Hitler supposedly did to y'all. You know what I'm saying? So if we can't quote Hitler, you know what I'm saying, but you can quote the people that helped do worse to us than Hitler did to y'all, then that proves again that y'all are the Satans. And that's why y'all need to be exposed. And that's why we're having this conversation right now. Well, they own, they don't control, they're the owners of Viacom. Right. It all comes down to the money. Like I said before, these Zionists are the people that own the banks. They own the insurance companies. They own the corporations. And it really comes down to, you know, they know we're the talent historically. Like the black people have always been the talent. So they leech and they attach themselves onto our talent. And then, yeah, they help make us fat. They might make us a millionaire, but then they're going to become a billionaire off and let us get a little million. But since we focus on talent. If we're singing, we just focus on, like, we love to focus on our passion of singing or acting or playing sports or whatever. They focus on the legal aspect, the paperwork. I want to be your lawyer, and I'm going to make sure that you get a good contract. You know what I'm saying? But in that contract, I'm going to look out for my Jewish people first, and put little clauses in there that says that if you speak bad against us, or you know something happens and you say something that's like a defamation of our business character or any, then not only are we going to be able to take the money that we gave you back, we're going to sue you for the millions of dollars that we were normally making. That's what shuts these niggas up. That's why you don't hear, you know, these celebrities stand up with Nick Cannon and all of that, because they scared to get sued. Not that they're just gonna cut their money off. They scared of what they're in many cases their Zionists or their Jewish lawyers put in their own contracts. My football contract, my basketball contract, my acting contract, my music contract, you know, whatever, my sponsorship I'm doing. I got all these sponsors in these commercials, and you know, but in those contracts, it's clauses and it's things that they say if you speak bad, you ain't supposed to speak bad, you know, about. Was not, no, it's not really a standard. There's really no such thing as a standard. It is there, but it's not necessarily. It's not about what was fair. It's about what you will negotiate. Like, so standard contracts, yeah, they're gonna say, yeah, you're not supposed to, you know, speak bad of this company or whatever, or that means it's a breach or whatever, or it could be penalties involved. But that's their whole language, is to be tricky in that area. And then they're gonna come up and say, you know, you can't say that, because if you say that, then they can sue you for libel or slander or defamation of character or such and such, and the amount of money that you cost that company, because now nobody wants to buy their product because they're listening to your influence, and you know, and you haven't gone to court and proven that yet, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to go to court first, and then the court has to say that you was actually right before you can go talk bad about this company or whatever. So they gonna whoop your ass on that contract with that pen, like they always do.
What can we expect to happen to Nick Cannon? Like, what can
oh, he's gonna be all right. Nick, you talking about what are they gonna try to do to him? What we see that they're doing right now, same thing they tried to do to Michael Jackson or Bill Cosby. Yeah, it's one thing they're gonna try to shut his money off, like what they just did, but now they got the other aspect of they get down is the Mossad aspect, meaning the intelligence, the CIA, the COINTELPRO aspect, where they're gonna try to dig up and find some little females on a what's the show name? Wildin' Out, like some little Wildin' Out girls or something that probably was plants all the while, and say, yeah, he tried to rape me, or he was in, you know, he gonna get caught up in some, you know, some Me Too. Somebody gonna come out with some of that type of stuff. This is how they get at. So you can expect that, like clockwork. You can expect some Wildin' Out girl or something to come up pretty soon and say that he raped me, or he was inappropriate, or he gave me some drugs, or some kind of little Me Too stuff. Because God is with him, the real God and the real forces of nature. Like, the time of these Satans is up. So what used to work, they used to have a Midas touch, because we gave them that power and dominion for six days or 6,000 years for their technology to work. But now technology time is expired. That milk carton, the technology date on that milk carton is expired. That shit ain't working. It's spoiled now. It don't work. Right. Right. They got the same reach, but they don't have a monopoly like they did. They had a monopoly before social media. So thanks to Steve Jobs, you know, thank God for that white man, Steve Jobs, that you know, provided a new technology that allows us all to have thousands or millions of media influence directly to the fans, or directly to the consumer, or whatever. So the fact that we on Instagram right now, and Deshaun Jackson got 1.5 million followers, and Nick Cannon got almost 5 million. You don't need no mainstream media no more. So that has diffused the influence, the media influence, and the monopoly that these Satans once had in the 80s and 90s, all the way up into today.
We need to lead them over to So all the celebrities there, look at what happening. Look how they're trying to hit the home button on that brother.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm thinking of somebody, I'm not saying his name, but you got a million followers on YouTube and Twitter.
Right. Yep. So it's coming down to, you know, what like the Bible say, let my people go. Let my people go. So they have let us go. The problem is we haven't let them go. We still holding on to Pharaoh and their riches. We still hypnotized by, you know, the glitz and the glamour and the fame and you know the everything that they have. Like it's their TV shows and their, you know, their movies and all of that. We want to be famous so bad. I'm talking about black people. We never had fame. We never had money and riches and wealth. We never had people idolize us and look up to us. And once we taste that, that corrupts us. That makes us little prostitutes and punk and whores and punks, because now we don't want to lose that. You know what I'm saying? Once you taste that, that's worse than any drug. Once you taste that, it's worse than any drug. So, you know, God has to force it. He has to whoop your ass. He has to let these enemies loose on you and threaten you worse than, you know, what you would go through, you know, if you did it on your own. That's why the Bloods and the Crips got together. It wasn't because we just finally seen like, you know, this is, you know, in 92 with the gang truce, with the peace treaty. It's because we seen a superior enemy that was coming against us both. You know what I'm saying? We didn't, it had to be a greater enemy doing a greater damage. And here we are right now. That's what these Satans represent. So we got to see that this is what it is. Here's the real enemy finally coming out from behind this Wizard of Oz little curtain. These are the real enemies. The real enemies ain't really Donald Trump. You know, he is what he is. But Donald Trump is fighting his same enemy. You know what I'm saying? It's Satan casting out Satan. I'm not saying he ain't no Satan, but the reason why the stuff that's going on in the government and even this collapse and all of that is because Donald Trump is a multi-billionaire that's bumping heads with Big Brother, Zionist so-called Jew that used to control the government. But German is not a race. Like German is just a location. German just means Germany. Like you can have a person that was a white person born in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Russia. Those is not 5 different races. Them is the same race of people that just went to that location and started their own little culture and started their own dialect or whatever. So they're the same people. Mm, mm. That's because the you know, this comes back to real deep history about the origin and the making of the Caucasian, the white race, and the reason why they was made, and the teaching that was given to them that allowed them to conquer and become rulers of the original people for 6,000 years. And I don't know how much time we got, and I don't want this to go over too many people's head or whatever, but like the Bible says, let us make man. This is God in Genesis. God is supposed to be singular by himself and create. But he's talking to some people or some people. He's saying, let us make, not create. Let us make man in our, not my. So if you're talking about invisible angels and shit, them angels don't got an image. Ghosts don't got an image. So this is your God saying, let us make a man in our image and after our likeness. And after that, give them power. and dominion to rule over our planet for 6,000 years or 6 days. A days is like 1,000 years with the Lords. The original people, 1,000 years is just 1 day to us. So we're gonna get this new man, the Adamites, the Adamic race. We're gonna give them 6 days or 6,000 years. We're gonna teach them how to rule over us. And the reason why we're doing that is because this is a scientific experiment. They represented a weak and underdeveloped germ that was in us, in the original people. We brought it out, gave it a form, a human form, made it in our image and our likeness, and gave it power to rule, to fully express itself. So we can study that weakness that was in us and finally purify it. That's the purpose of the Caucasian race. That's who they are. Devil came out of God. You know what I'm saying? Shaitan came out of Allah. So that's what these, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Because many times when we think about it,
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Right.
about who we are and who our purpose was before the enslavement. It was then that we
Right.
just crazy.
Right. Right. And they didn't take on Islam. Islam is just the Arabic language of the Hebrew religion or lifestyle or way of life. That's why in the Quran is a verification of the Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament. It's not something new or different. The original man and woman of this planet, we didn't follow no quote unquote religion. Our nature, our lifestyle was the religion. But when we produced a new people that that was total the polar opposite in nature of the original people, which is righteous people, they needed to be taught step by step, like Darren's dance moves. They're not born with natural rhythm or righteousness or, so they had to have a book called religion. We put our nature, the original black people, we say black, and me and you will talk about that term later on or whatever, because the Moors, but the original black people, the original nation of this planet, just once we produced the Caucasian race 6,600 years ago, 6,600 years ago, we put our nature of how to be righteous and the laws and morals and all of that in a book form, right? And then we develop rituals like prayer or turn to the east or, ablution, wash your hands and always wash 5 times a day. This is something we had to put in book form and called it religion.
Yes.
So the Quran say, this day have I perfected for you your religion and chosen for you Islam as a religion. Before this day, Islam was just our lifestyle. We didn't need no book. Black people didn't need no book and yeah. We didn't need no book. We are hip hop, you know what I'm saying? But a new people that don't have this nature whatsoever, they have to be taught. They have to be taught this strict, not just a book, but prophet after prophet, examples of how to live it. You know what I'm saying? Because step-by-step instructions. Religion was for the Caucasian race. The Adamites. Those are the man of sin. That is the original sin. Like Christians say, no, we all have sin when the man is weak and we all sinners. No, that's talking about Adam, the Adamic race. Yeah, it is. It is. It's not the creation because to create means to bring into existence from nothing. They wasn't created, they was made. He said, let us make man out of us, out of our material.
We can see.
Well, it's always about this. I forgot which one of those Jewish philanthropists or bankers said, "I care not uh, about." Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he said it's easier to it's easier to kill 1 million people than it is to control 1 million people. But I'm talking about one back in the 1700s. Like, give me control over, I care not about the lawmakers or who makes the laws. Give me control over a country's money, because whoever controls the money controls everything else, the laws, the people, the everything. So that's one of the things that Musa or Moses did, 4,000 years ago in teaching them technology, is you have to develop some type of medium of exchange that will replace actual talent or actual goods and services. Not so now we got some kind of thing called money. You know what I'm saying? So if me and you, the way that it used to be was the barter system or the trade and commerce or whatever. Gold wasn't even money. Gold was used for actual purposes. Gold has conductivity, electrical conductivity, and spiritual conductivity properties in it. But now we just think, yeah, currency, exactly. But now we just think it's flashy and it feel good when it's on our neck. It feel good because it's actually doing something. It's helping amplify your spirit. You know what I'm saying, and your thoughts. But we don't know that's the purpose of it, right? But these people, once they got control of money and established something as money, and made money greater than the thing that money represented, because money's just supposed to represent some goods or some services or something, you know what I'm saying, some value. So once they got control of that and started establishing what they call banks and then loans and all of that, then that was how they, we taught them to enslave people like that. Offer them a loan, you know what I'm saying, and then know that they, put them in a condition where they'll never be able to pay that loan, and then come and say, well, we need to own this. Since you couldn't pay our loan back, then we need, to own this much of your country or your infrastructure or your land or something like that. So the original people, Moses is one of the ones that retaught them how to do these tricks and these lies against the original people. Moses had two missions, like, so to speak. And one mission was to teach righteousness, and the other mission was to teach the Caucasian tricks, so they could succeed in taking over and fulfilling their purpose, which was to fully express the opposite nature of the original people, which is wickedness.
Man, I would like just, people between.
Right. Well, at least centuries. I know it's centuries. Right. Mm. Yeah.
So we just all the history. That man was richer than
Mm. Man.
so.
Oh yeah, yeah. It just reminded me about like you said, the bathhouses. It reminded me also about secret societies, what secret societies even are, what Freemasonry and Skull and Bones and Shriners and all of that. All of that is are secret fraternal orders that were established by Moses. They were first established by the maker, the original maker of the white race 6,000 years ago, which was Jacob or Yaqub. Yaqub is the one that first established this secret science or this secret, yes, it's a science of tricks and lies called tricknology, but it had to be kept secret because the Quran would even say it about the people in the cave that, you know, go take this silver coin of yours into the city and see which food is purest and make your case known. Don't make your case known to anyone, because if they learn about you, they would stone you to death and you would never succeed. So they succeed in following my tricknology, the science of tricks and lies against the original people to be able to take over the world. You know, like Pinky in the Brain, like we made these people to take over, to rule. That's why they have it in their nature that they can't submit and obey nobody black. In the grafting process where we brought them out of us, we put that in their nature by killing off the darker and saving the lighter, and killing off the darker. So that's, and we made them to rule. So they, you know, they got that what you call that privilege, or that, you know, I forgot the word of it, but they know they supposed to rule. You know what I'm saying? But they time for rule is over with. So, but the secret that they've been studying in their secret societies is this knowledge of themselves and ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Which is Islam, but how a way to use Islam in a wicked way. So that, right. Well, what I mean, but it's cool. Islam is cool. It still can be righteous as a science, but I'm talking about taking the taking the knowledge of what Islam is and the nature of righteousness, and coming and speaking a language that seems righteous, but with the intent to deceive and cause trouble among the righteous by telling tricks and lies. That's what they use their Islam for, and Yaqub and Moses taught them how to do that. Original black people had to teach white people how to trick us, or to trick our people, so they can rule our people for this long. So they had to keep this secret of, this is what we really doing. We can never reveal this secret because our heads would be taken off by the sword. They would kill us if they knew this is what, you know, we was taught by original people to do, and this is our purpose. So it's a, you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? And the only way out is when, you know, Mahdi shows up and offers a salvation for both of them. And that started in 1400 years ago with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who we taught was a white man. So the reason why the Holy Quran in Islam, or, you know, or the Islamic religion, the book form, is so lauded and so praised, is because the original people proved that we could purify that germ, or that new people in us called devil. So that lower self. And Prophet Muhammad, we taught, was a white man, and he was that. And the holy war, the jihad, or the war against his own weak, wicked nature, Caucasian nature that he submitted to the original black teaching, and became righteous and even holy, to now he got to wear the name Muhammad. So that was a wonder in heaven. That was the breakthrough that we was looking for. That proved that we could do that with those people, and those people could do that through their own submission to our nature and to our righteous teaching. But they, they would rather, unfortunately, most of them, many of them would rather just go to war against us to remain devils and freaks and do what they want to do than to go to war with their own nature. You know what I'm saying? To become holy and immortal. So that's what we're dealing with here. That these people that have that nature that we gave them rulership. So they've been ruling, so they've been enjoying that rulership lollipop. But now once God comes and the God people wake up and say, time is up, give us that lollipop back, they spoil. Like, no, we don't want to do that. All you got to do is submit, give us the rulership lollipop, and follow these, instructions in this example, like Prophet Muhammad did, and then you can have some of the lollipop back. You won't be ruling us, but you'll be ruling, your own people. You'll be the wisest and most experienced, white people over your own people. But once you didn't taste it, just like these rappers and all that, once you didn't taste it, this level of being worship and celebrity, and I'm the king of this and I'm the king of that, I'd rather just die than to get that lollipop back. That's where we at.
We do have some messages.
No, don't pay no trolls, no mind. Peace. Walaikum salam.
To be anti-Semitic.
He's not anti-Semitic. We just earlier, if you just came on, the definition of Semitic means Afro-Asiatic languages. That is the definition of Semitic. So so-called Jewish or whatever falls somewhere under that umbrella, but there's no such thing as Afro-Asiatic language. Languages don't create themselves. They were created by the people. So who are the Afro-Asiatic people that produce the Afro-Asiatic languages that are the definition of what Semitic is? So,
and here's the thing about anybody can be racist. No, it's the word that they weaponize, that they use.
Right.
That brother from his reputation and his prestige.
Right.
And then they put it on the brother like they casting a spell.
Right. Right. I mean, we know their history. They never treated us right. So why would we think that they're going to be telling us the truth regarding one of our own? You know what I'm saying? So, but it comes down to money. It comes down to money. You hear a lot of them say, well, you're my friend because you helped me make so much money. Like money is God. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody, help you make money off of your passion. My passion is writing or telling jokes or comedy, making people laugh, or singing or playing sports. And these people came and helped me become a millionaire off of my passion. So you think those are your friends? No, you helped them way more than they helped you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't need their help, really. If you would have dedicated half of your time to learning, business and how to start your own business, how to start your own basketball league, or how to start your own Hollywood, or start your own, like they do, you wouldn't need them at all. But you feel like as a lazy, talented slave, those are your best friends because they helped you become a millionaire. To stand on his square, stay what he doing, stay doing what he's doing right now. the study and the discipline that even led him to get in this so-called trouble, stay with that. You're on the right path. No, we were supposed to do that. We were supposed to do that. Like, and for whatever reason, you know, we didn't do it. He had Professor Griff on there, and that's the interview that supposedly got him in trouble. But prior to that, he had my young brother Reza Islam on there, you know, from the nation. So, you know, I'm glad. I mean, that I wasn't used as that so-called excuse catalyst guest that got him in this so-called hot water. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll definitely step up and help get him out. You know what I'm saying?
Take them to
Oh yeah, I mean, even if they don't love it, the truth hurts. I don't care you love it or you hate it. You know, my duty is just to deliver the message as clear as possible and spark you, hopefully inspire you to go study for yourself, because we got into this problem by being lazy. You know what I'm saying? And not doing the research about what words mean and how business works and such. That's same with this coronavirus. Should we wear a mask? Should we stay inside? Should we, like, why are some Johnny come lately, you know, people, race of people, the experts on your original ancient of days body and universe and viruses and microbes and atoms and molecules? Like, why do they know more about what you created and your fathers created than you do? That's our problem. Our people is destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And it don't stop right there. It said because we ignored knowledge. We ignored the law of our creation and the knowledge. Then our God ignored us and our children, and we got our ass destroyed. Yeah. Right. And you give them. They only got as much power as you give them. Right. Right. And you know what? You're absolutely right. And the cold part, it don't even take all of us. The Caucasian race was started and made from only 60,000 black people. It only took 60,000 to produce a people that took over the whole planet for 6,000 years. All of us don't got to agree. All it takes is a few good men and women, a few strong men and women that's ready to die and do whatever else. You know what I'm saying? That stand up with Nick. Yeah, I watch. Because really all you need is a lie. You know what I'm saying? All you need is, it's only one individual that's already in power right now that's pulling the strings. All we got to do is realize that God, that original man is in power, is alive, is a flesh and blood man and exists. The Mahdi and the Messiah is alive and exists. And their son of man or their Christ child among us is alive and exists, which is Farrakhan. I'm talking about Master Fard Muhammad, talking about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm talking about Farrakhan. And they represent our ancient sages like Marcus Garvey and Honorable Noble Drew Ali and everybody else that's no longer here in physical form. Those ancient ancestors is in their body now. They're exercising through their body now and ours. So that's as spooky as you need to get. Yeah, yeah. All the black entertainers, you know, with whatever influence that God, the originator, has given me or will give me, there's pressure now. This is a God call, not no gangster call. It's a G call, God call. All of my celebrity peers, especially those millionaires, you know, that got influence over millions of our people, it's mandatory now for you to stand up and become vocal and, you know, seen, standing with Nick Cannon. The reason why they attacking Nick Cannon, they want to make him an example, is because who he had the heart to stand up with publicly, which was Farrakhan. So if you do not stand with Nick Cannon right now, you are an enemy. If you're not, you are, you know, because we already have been enemies to our people by spewing certain, you know, degrading, whatever. This is your chance to redeem yourself and clean your slate with Allah, God, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, Jesus, Jehovah, and with our people. This is how you clean that shit up right now. Stand with Nick Cannon against these Satans, you know, these Zionists that are making an example out of him to scare you. You know what I'm saying? Right.
You know, it's shit like that.
Right. 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 And it turned out that he the most gangster when it comes to the real war, apparently. Because I've been with a lot, you know, I've been with a lot of oh, this went off. Let me share right quick. I've been with a lot of you know, soldiers that started out strong, you know what I'm saying, but then something happened, and you know, so this is our chance to redeem ourselves. You don't waste the sacrifice and the pain and the wounds that you got back then, you know, because you know, if you was with us and you know, back then in the early 90s or whatever, then you should get a return on your investment. You sacrificed, you suffered, you and your family suffered to take a stand to support Farrakhan, and say I'm down with Farrakhan, and they came at you, or the enemies came down on you or cut you off or threatened you, or did something, or try to destabilize your marriage or your relationship, did some COINTELPRO shit, sent some little dirty female there to mess up your family or mess up your marriage. You really took some sacrifices, some L's to try to stand up for a righteous man or with a righteous cause. So you need a return on your investment. Just because you didn't fell back since then, because it was some agents maybe in the nation that bit you and did some, you know, foul or whatever. This is your time to redeem yourself, to cash in your G miles. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, I can hold on a second. Yeah, shouts out to young brother Ben X. Okay, now. Yeah, yeah. So I'm on. So I need to. I just. Yeah. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. Like those of us, my celebrity peers that you know that started with me and actually took a L or took a big wound from these same enemies, these same so-called, you know, these Zionist owners. This is your time to get, you know, get your vengeance. You know what I'm saying? To get your justice by standing, because you a G, you were foremost. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, same with me, we didn't have no social media. We didn't have nobody that was going to rally and come stand with us and come to our aid and shit. So we felt like outcasts. We felt like you know, our people threw us under the bus and left us for dead and let us down and broke our heart. I went through all of that, and I know some of our people also went through all of that. You know what I'm saying? So this is our chance. This is your chance, you know, to get your just due as a general, as an OG, as a foremost, and as a elder that's going to help guide and shape, you know, the younger generation, like Nick Cannon and Deshaun Jackson and whatnot. This is what we're supposed to do. Each one teach one, and we supposed to go out fighting so that they don't have to fight the same enemy that we had to fight.
I want to send a message out to some of you guys.
Man, yeah, right, right.
On both, man.
Right. Okay. That's enough energy for that person. Yeah. So that I already learned through the social media not to even, if I'm on a live, really, I'm not going to even address no ops really. You know, I'll ask him to come back. I'll look at, you know, my feed a little later on, and then I'll single you out. So whoever was saying that, do you want to get on a live with me personally, like after we finish our business? And 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, they don't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that whoever you talking to, you know, is going to fall into that category, but we got to stick on script. That's what part of the thing that makes a soldier a warrior. They don't get distracted. They don't take on mixed instructions and get, you know, sidetracked or whatever. Yeah.
Stuff like this on the time. What else?
We got a new record coming. You talking about the record, the song we got? I wasn't supposed to say nothing. Man, yeah, that's all. You don't say no more about it, else about it. Yeah.
Social media experience today.
Nah. It ain't definitely. You might not have them. Period. Ever. You know what I'm saying? Islam. Thank you, brother Ali. Peace to you. Peace.